but I predominantly went for years to Unity, so I'm very familiar with Unity.
Welcome. We're glad you're here. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tyler. I live in Asheville, but I moved here almost a year ago from Miami.
Welcome. Welcome, Tyler. We're glad you're here. Okay. More.
I'm Carrie, and I'm from Wilmington, North Carolina. I moved here about a year ago.
Welcome.
Good morning, I'm David Ray, and there's no place in the world I would rather be. And Christine Magdarella Ray, who works, of course, for the church, and we love you guys. We used to be members here, if we don't know any of you guys. It's the best place in the world.
I guess the other visitors are wondering why they didn't get that kind of a reply. It's not that we don't love you, yeah?
I'm actually a member from a long time ago, but I haven't been here in a long time. So, and I wanted to bring my husband because of the music, and so he is in Aston Park. People who know him, and especially you guys in the choir, so Norris Orbach, yeah, he sends his greetings. He's still there. I would have liked to have brought him, but I couldn't. So, sort of, I'm channeling Norris.
Well, welcome. Glad you're here. All right. Okay, now let us prepare one more. Lots of visitors this morning.
Hi, I'm Leah, and this is Bill, and we are has-beens as well. We used to be members, and we're missed it, and we're back today.
Welcome, welcome. Now let us prepare for worship with today's centering music.
See a world that's waiting up for me that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say it all sounds like
Good morning. That was a good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Music Sunday. If you haven't had the pleasure of meeting me, my name is Les Downs, and I'm the music director here at UU Asheville. So, our theme for June is celebrating blessings. And we definitely have many blessings to celebrate. We are very blessed. First of all, I would like to say we're blessed to be able to have an in-person Music Sunday. Do you know when our last in-person Music Sunday was? 2019. We are blessed to have our choir singing today. We are blessed to have the Sandburgers, our in-house band, singing today. One sad note, one of our Sandburgers members, Brett Johnson, could not be here today, so Sandra and Will are covering for him, which we really appreciate. Also joining us is soprano Hillary Trumpler, who sings with the choir. Hillary is a frequent guest, and we really appreciate her high notes. She has all those really super high notes. So for this service, we've chosen music that is uplifting, and actually some of the music that we're doing we had planned to do for the 2020 Music Sunday service, which we, of course, couldn't have. I would ask that today you bear with us a little bit. We've had some technical difficulties, so we will not actually have any words appearing on the screens today. It's just something that can't be helped. So when we get to the hymns, you'll actually need to pick up your hymnal. So make sure you have a teal hymnal and a gray hymnal, because you'll need both of them. And there might be another opportunity where you'll get to sing. So I'd like to just read some chalice lighting words by Michael Berg. In music, we can find love. We can find joy, even sadness. Anything that you choose to find, you can find in the world of music, because it is a creative language that speaks to the soul. It allows us to communicate in a way far beyond words. In music, we can feel the godliness inside of us. If you're able, would you please rise in body or spirit while we sing hymn 1010 and the teal hymnal, We Give Thanks.
Buenos días, amigos. Good morning, friends. Today I'm going to be reading Ada's Violin. The True Story of the Recycled Orchestra of Paraguay by Susan Hood. Art by Susan Warren Comfort, adapted. Ada Rios grew up in a town made of trash, basura. Cateura is the main garbage dump for the city of Asunción, Paraguay. It is one of the poorest slums in South America. Generations of Ada's family worked the landfill. They are called gancheros, which means recyclers, including dad, papa, and grandmother, abuelita. Papa was able to get a better job sewing and embroidering clothes. Her mom, mama, worked as a caregiver for an elderly relative. In the evenings, while abuelita cooked, she loved listening to music from the 60s. The girls grew up to the tunes of the Beatles, Simon and Garfunkel, and Creedence Clearwater Revival. Papa brightened the night with stories of songs from the great musicians. He turned on the radio and pointed out the sounds each instrument made. Ada loved listening for the violin. Ada and her sister, Noelia, were able to attend school. They often watched the gancheros as they scrambled, tearing into plastic bags with long-handled hooks, pushing aside moldy food, and grabbing anything they could recycle or sell. 5 cents, 5 centavos, for a pound of cardboard, 10 cents, 10 centavos, for a pound of plastic. But there were also long hours with nothing to do. Ada noticed teenagers hanging out in the alleys, grumbling about life in the landfill looming ahead. She watched as some of the older kids turned to gangs and got into fights. Then a newcomer came to town. Fabio Chavez was an environmental engineer at Ingeniero. I'm trying to practice that, sorry. Ingeniero. Sent to Cateura to teach safety practices to the gancheros working in the large mountains of garbage in the landfill. Working alongside the gancheros in the landfill, he became friends with them and worried about their children. Se enseña violín, guitarra, violoncello, los sábados a las 8 de la mañana, Fabio Chavez. Violin, guitar, cello, taught Saturdays at 8 a.m. Fabio had 3 guitars and 2 violins. 10 children showed up. He had to do something. He remembered a musical group he liked that made its own instruments. He got an idea, una idea muy buena. In partnership with people from the community, he experimented transforming oil drums into cellos, wider pipes into flutes, and packing crates into guitars. Soon, there were enough instruments for all the children, para todos, who wanted to play. Ada chose a violin made from an old paint can, an aluminum baking tray, a fork, and pieces of wooden crates. Fabio set up a strict rehearsal schedule. It was not easy. Some kids dropped out, but Ada practiced at home, sometimes 2 hours a day. In time, Fabio's music students became an orchestra called the Recycled Orchestra. The sound of their playing helped to lift the gancheras beyond the heat, the stench, and their aching backs. With her violin, Ada could close her eyes and imagine a different life. She could soar on the high, bright, bittersweet notes to a place far away. She could be who she was meant to be. As Ada's skills grew, so did her confidence, and she wasn't the only one. Word of the extraordinary orchestra spread. They were invited to play in the capital, Asunción. Concert invitations around the country and later around the world followed, but there were many roadblocks. Some of the youth did not have identity papers or even birth certificates. Fabio worked hard to change that. They toured with the rock band Metallica when Ada was 16 and played in Bogotá, Colombia. They also traveled to Brazil, Germany, Japan, and the US. Their Facebook page, Landfill Harmonic, has pictures of their recent Mother's Day concert in Zurich. Money from the orchestra's concerts goes back to Cateura to help families rebuild their homes, their music school, and their lives. What started as a music class for 10 kids has become a rehearsal for 200 students with 25 instructors. This is a picture of Ara Rios. Pardon, okay. This is a picture of Ara Rios, who studied music and started playing with the Orquesta Filarmónica IPU Paraguay. So this is our wisdom story this morning. I wonder what your favorite part of the story was. Does anybody want to share? I wonder what you learned from this true story. And I wonder what questions you have about the story. Gracias por su atención. Thank you for listening.
And thank you, Reverend Claudia, for choosing that lovely story for us today. To lead us into our time of meditation, we're going to sing a song that is written in gospel style. So near the end of it, the words do repeat a little bit. So if you're familiar with Draw the Circle Wide and you want to hum along or sing along with us, you're welcome to. I'll tell you what the words are since you won't see them on the screen. Yes, that was going to happen at some point. So you'll know when we get there because the piano will drop out and the words are draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song, no one stands alone. You'll have heard these words before. So you're welcome to join in if you like. We'd like to include you in the song.
Say
I feel blessed by that story and the reminder that when we feel in despair and things seem hopeless, we can tap that creativity which can make things happen. So in the center of our service and in the center of our lives, let us pause to honor the silences of the world. Let us open our hearts to the place of quiet, the silent prayer for the healing of pain, and the soft, gentle coming of love. Let us share a moment of silence. And now it's the time in our service for acknowledging our joys and sorrows with a candle lighting ritual. If you're in the sanctuary, please feel free to come forward and light a candle. And if you're online, please write in the chat box any joys or sorrows that you would like to share with the congregation. If you have shared a joy, know that we rejoice with you. And if you have shared a sorrow, know that you are held in love and care by this community. The reading this morning is called Sense of Blessing by Reverend Peter Fredericks. I know what a blessing looks like, and I'm not talking about a picture of the Pope placing his cupped hands on a child's head. It looks like the midnight delivery of a stunned and wide-eyed Indian orphan to her adoptive parents at the baggage claim carousel in Terminal E of Logan Airport, and a full moon rising over Mount Katahdin on an autumn night so clear and cold it makes your teeth ache. I know what a blessing smells like, too. The head of your month-old niece thrust into your arms by your dead, tired sister who wants nothing more than a few hours of uninterrupted sleep. And the aroma of fresh baked bread that catches you off guard as you walk past a bakery, head bowed against the cold and the grief on the way to your grandmother's funeral. A blessing tastes like cherry popsicles you used to split with your dad on the front stoops before bedtime in the summer when the light was soft and the pavement was still hot under your toes. The deafening roar of water cascading into an Ithacan gorge is the sound a blessing makes, and two, the silence of a pre-dawn forest when the insects have gone to ground and the birds have not yet begun. And I know, thank God I know how a blessing feels, like walking out of the shadow of a skyscraper or your own fear and feeling the sun on your face for the first time in forever and waking up every morning next to the person who saved your life.
This is a song about being kind to one another and being a light to those around you.
We can be the healing when you're feeling all alone. We can be the reason you find the strength to carry on. In a world that's so divided, we shall overcome. We can be the healing. We can be the flower in the gun. We can be the healing. We can be the flower in the gun.
What would I say to my son and to my daughter if they came and asked about these days? What kind of reason could I give for all the hate standing in the way? Wish I could tell them that nobody's gonna judge them. No stranger on the block is gonna love them. No bully in the world is gonna hurt them, but I can't say that today. No, no one could ever take your pride from you. Speak your truth and let my spirit fly.
Be the healing
When you're feeling all alone,
we can be the reason you find the
strength to carry on.
in a world that's so divided.
We shall overcome.
We can be the healing. We can
Be the flower in the gun.
We can be the healing.
We could be the flower in the gun.
What could I say to every woman who was ever told by a man, don't try to reach too high? What could I say to every girl who was betrayed and told to keep the pain locked inside? Wish wish I could tell them that nobody's gonna judge them. Every stranger on the block is gonna love them. No bully in the world could ever hurt them, but I can't say that today.
No, no one could ever take your pride from you.
I'll
Speak your truth and let your spirit fly.
We can be the healing
When you're feeling all alone,
We can be the reason you
find the strength to carry on.
in a world that's so divided.
We shall overcome.
We can be the healing. We can be the
Flower in the gun.
We can be the healing. We can be the
Flower in the gun. The flower in the gun. The flower in the gun.
The choir would like to share with you one of their favorite songs. It's called Closer to the Flame. It's a great song for us as a congregation as we look toward our future. And I want to just share some of the words, my favorite words from this song. Like a moth drawn to the candle, I am drawn to future's fire. Lift my wings and let me fly. Lift my wings and let me fly. Let me fly closer to the flame. In our Teal hymnal, we have a gospel song called When the Spirit Says Do. You're not going to sing it, but it's something you're familiar with, When the Spirit Says Do. And we're about to sing a version of that we really enjoy, called I'm Gonna Sing.
I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing, sing for the joy our voices bring. I'm gonna sing, sing, sing when the Spirit says sing. I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing. I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing. I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing. Sing the joy our voices bring. I'm gonna sing, sing, sing when the Spirit says sing. I'm gonna pray when the Spirit says pray. I'm gonna pray when the Spirit says pray. I'm gonna pray when the Spirit says pray. Pray that justice comes today. I'm gonna pray, pray, pray when the Spirit says pray. When the Spirit says sing, sing, sing. When the Spirit says sing. I'm gonna stand when the Spirit says stand. I'm gonna stand when the Spirit says stand. I'm gonna stand on freedom's side. Gonna draw the circle wide. I'm gonna stand, gonna sing. Gonna pray, pray, pray. I'm gonna shout when the Spirit says shout. I'm gonna shout when the Spirit says shout. I'm gonna shout when the Spirit says shout. Till the day that love wins out. I'm gonna shout, shout, shout when the Spirit says shout. Hallelujah, hallelujah. I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Pray, pray, pray when the Spirit says shout, shout, shout. When the Spirit says sing. 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 When the
So now it's your turn to sing. I've made it a tradition on Music Sunday that we sing our next hymn 170 in the gray hymnal. We are a gentle, angry people. I don't know why we would sing that. Maybe because we love Holly Near, who wrote it. But that's what we're going to sing. And just be aware when we get to the last, notice there's some extra verses underneath the music. So the song, I think it has 6 verses, so we're singing all of them. The last verse, you're on your own. It'll be a cappella, just warning you.
So now it's time for the work of the congregation. Our announcements were on slides at the beginning of the service, and if you missed them, just refer to Thursday's e-news, weekly e-news, as everything is described there. I just want to plug the cookbooks. You still have a chance to buy the wonderful cookbooks in Sandberg Hall after the service. Our community plates recipient this month is Co-Think. Today, their executive director, Tracy Green Washington, is here with us, and she's going to share some news. Come on, Tracy.
So glad to be with you this morning. Just one correction, I'm not the executive director, I'm just the founder. We're a collective of folks that are doing that work. And I just wanted just to say that. before I tell you a little bit about CoThink, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, coming into the sanctuary and hearing Music Day, there was just a couple of things that came up for me. That so much of this space is about making the invisible visible in a real explicit way of talking about bringing all of us into this higher place. That this today is a place about dreaming, that is about expectations about all of us to do better, to be bolder in our work. And the other thing that really came up to me was the power of storytelling in the music and in the stories that were told, both individually in terms of our stories, collectively as our stories, and an invitation to imagine what is possible. That's what CoThink is. It is a reimagining of what is possible, and CoThink came together out of this question of how can we pool our time, talent, and resources together to address some of the vexing issues that are facing our communities? How can we lift up and amplify the voices and the solutions to these complicated challenges that are being led by brown and black individuals and allies in our community as we move forward? And so CoThink was birthed out of this dreaming of what could be possible if we pulled our collective work together to shift the narrative, the stories of what could be possible in our communities. I know you had opportunity at your last Sunday meeting to hear a video from me. But I just wanted to emphasize that CoThink has these strategic pathways of healing, right? That's what y'all talked about today, of talking about capacity building, systems change, and talking about how we pull resources to really amplify solutions that we know work in our communities. To date, we've given away close to $400,000 from community to community with community partners. And that is in service to us having the infrastructure, the capacity to do what is being called in this moment. That's what I feel like today is about, what is called in this moment. And so I'll be here this afternoon to tell you a little bit more about CoThink if you'd like to hear about it, but I'm looking forward to us building together. We're excited. We feel honored to be a recipient of your plate as well. We feel like the work, the collaboration, the authentic relationship that we're building together is in service to something that's higher, that's bigger, that's calling us into a space where we have to be bolder in the work that we do collectively. So thank you for allowing me to be here.
We know that our financial contributions to this congregation come from sacrifice and hard work. We're also grateful for this and commit ourselves to ensure that the funds we gather collectively do for a greater good for ourselves and for our world. May the offering to sustain and grow the life and mission of this congregation be taken, and may we give in love and in hope. For your time, talents, and financial support, we are grateful.
thank you all for being here today for our Music Sunday. I would like to especially thank our choir for providing music for us today. We really appreciate and love our choir. And we love the Sandburgers too, and we appreciate them too. So please stay for the postlude, because we have one more song that we want to sing for you, and we really want you to hear it. Just one thing, there's no virtual connection today, because after the postlude, we're going to go and celebrate Linda's retirement. And so I'm just going to say, to embarrass her, that I'm really sad that Linda is retiring, because I love her dearly, and I'm going to miss her. I also am going to embarrass one other person who I will not acknowledge where he is, but I have been very fortunate the last 3 months to be dating a really wonderful man. And he's here today. His name is Todd. You'll see him. He's here somewhere. I can't tell you where he is. And he's already going to be mad at me for mentioning him. So, okay, so we're going to sing Longtime Son, so please rise in body or spirit, and we'll do that, and then we'll have our postlude.
Champagne with kings and queens, the politicians praised my name.